If you're not careful, cauliflower could just smell and taste like feet.
You guys are
Garlic.
making me hungry. Can we stop talking about food? 'Cause I'm like
Yeah,
thinking
I
about
thought this was fitness and health. Why are you frying up the cauliflower, yo?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Juice and Jury podcast. Today, we're doing another continuation of our Gen Z versus Millennial series. We have a special guest with us today, Allie, who's here. She is a trainer, a massage therapist, and she studies she studied. Did you finish your studies
Yes.
with
Yeah,
kinesiology?
I
Okay,
did.
studied kinesiology. We're also going to have Sam join us in a little bit, and Christiana, that was something to do it the other way. Christiana is actually a nurse, so Shaunika is not with us tonight, but I did get some information from her, which we're going to throw into our discussion. So thank you so much for coming back today, Allie. I appreciate you taking out the time. I know it's late. I always
No
feel
problem.
asking people to come after work, but I appreciate
No
you.
problem.
So I have a little bit of an icebreaker for us, like sort
Sure.
of a fun thing. If you want to pop up that image, like out of this list, it's crazy. Okay, so pick 2 pills. First pill is look 15 years younger, reminds for 3 days, forget your ex, eat without gaining weight, add 5 centimeters to your height, become super strong, have a lot of money, always feel happy, or get millions of
This
followers.
is so easy.
Only
I
2.
got mine immediately.
Only 2.
Yeah, this is so
Only
easy.
Immediately.
Let me guess. Let me guess. I feel like maybe if not all of us are going to choose number 4, eat without gaining weight.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's like
Absolutely.
that's so easy. Like, who would
I
want to
know.
read minds for 3 days? No, thank you.
I think
eat
I get my
without-
feelings hurt. I don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
None of our
Exactly.
business. It's none of our business.
No.
Okay. Maureen, which one
And
you
what's
going
the second one? What's the second one, Allie?
For me, it's have a lot of money.
Same.
That'd
I
be great. That would
this is
just clear
easy.
up all these problems.
Yeah,
Was yours the
this
same,
is
Maureen?
100%. Yes, have a lot of money, eat without gaining weight. Like, this is a no-brainer to me. Of course, it's going to be
So
those
true.
two.
You know what? I didn't want to seem like too like what's the word I'm looking for?
What?
um
Superficial?
Superficial by saying have a lot of money, but definitely I was thinking that too. I was like, okay, always feel happy. I was saying,
Let's be honest. Like, let's not
be
lie to
honest.
ourselves here, okay?
And then get
All of us-
millions of followers is not bad either. You can monetize that.
Yeah, but only if it makes me money.
exactly.
Only if it makes me money. And on that note,
Juicy. Right?
Juice.
Okay.
I don't think, like, to be honest, I'm just looking at this list. I don't know anyone who's gonna pick anything else. Like, I don't. Maybe Sam. Maybe if you're a boy, you might pick something different. But
Yeah, no, it depends
You-
what stage of life you're in. Look 15 years younger. Somebody
Yeah.
might want to look 15 years younger.
yeah, I
The
guess.
Botox for that
Fair.
though. So
I guess so. But I feel like, first of all, have a lot of money. Everyone's gonna pick that one. Like, that is
For sure.
just. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. For me, this is super easy. I wish it was a little bit harder. But
when
yeah.
Sam comes, I guarantee you he probably won't choose eat without gaining weight. I don't know how tall he is, but maybe he'll go with add 5 centimeters to your height. I don't know how tall he is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's average, I think, but I don't know what he thinks about those things. I have no idea. We'll find out, I guess. But I wanted to because today we're going to be talking about healthcare, wellness, all that jazz, right? And we briefly were talking a little bit about well, first of all, my t-shirt, okay? My t-shirt is I Love Kickboxing Vaughn. And I wore it today, especially because Allie and Sam, I actually know from I Love Kickboxing Vaughn. They were the trainers there, and that's how I met them. And unfortunately, this place did have to shut down in end of August.
Yeah.
End of August. So that was really sad. But we love Amy. I love all the people that I met there. It was such a great experience. And a lot of you guys have gone to Hitbox in Vaughan, right? A lot of the people
Yeah.
who went from ILKB have now gone to Hitbox, and some of them are now going to Fight Fitness, which is where I'm going. There's a few of us at there as well, so that's cool. But I actually wanted to bring up the fact that workouts seem to have evolved drastically over the generations, right? Like even if you've watched, I don't know if you've ever watched workouts from like the 1930s, 1940s, 1960s, 70s, 80s, and how they've changed drastically every
I think
year.
about like Jane Fonda.
Oh,
Like
Jane
the
Fonda is like
makeup. Yeah.
80s, yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I want to request to bring back those outfits because those are killer. I love those like bodysuits with the leotards. Like, come on, that was so dope.
Bring them back. Just bring
I
them
want
back.
to.
Don't ask
Where do
for
I
permission. Just bring it
where
back.
do I buy them, Tiana? Where do
Go
I
to
you
like
know who
those
used
thrifty stores or Amazon. Amazon has everything.
I
Around
don't
Halloween.
want to wear a thrifted leotard because those things go up your butt and your crotch. That's I don't want to wear that. But you know who used to sell clothes that looked kind of like that? American Apparel, and then they shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But American Apparel had a lot of like 80s kind of workout looking gear. So I don't even know where I would buy that. But like, and I would look stupid going kickboxing in that gear. Like,
You'll
I would
start a
look really
trend,
stupid.
Maureen. You'll start
I
a
know I
trend.
should. I really should. But I just on that note, I was watching also like one of my favorite shows is this like time period series called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is set in the 40s and 50s. And in it there are scenes where they're working out and like the workouts are hilarious. And so it just made me think about the evolution of aerobics and fitness and how it was perceived like through the eras and how it's changed and how it continually is changing. Like for example, um what's it called? Pilates. Pilates wasn't a thing when in the 80s. It wasn't a thing in the 70s. That's a new wave of workoutness.
Yeah. It's huge right now. It's like a huge thing right now.
It's everywhere.
Now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Pilates and yoga, I feel like has been incorporated into every type of other workout. Like even if you're
Mhm.
not doing Pilates, there are some Pilates moves in there somewhere.
For
Right?
sure.
Am I right, Allie?
In everything, yeah.
Yeah. I feel that way.
I've been
about it.
enjoying hot yoga. I think it's amazing. And I think like, my first time trying yoga, I left the class. Like this was like years ago. Like when I was in my early 20s, like my friend and I went into the class and then they started and we're like, we can't move like that. Like we couldn't do it. We're like, and my friend and I just kind of scurried out in the middle
But
of
wait,
the class.
is it when you say hot yoga, is it like humid yoga or is it just hot? Is it dry and hot or is it humid and hot? Because that makes a difference to me. Because I
think
don't
it's
want my hair
hot, but
frizzy
like
up.
then you start sweating.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
probably
it
would.
must
It
be
probably would.
dry, I suppose. Like, because it gets really hot. Like it's hot. And I thought that wasn't going to do much for me, but I enjoy it because I like being warm. And then you find that you're like sweating buckets. It's amazing. It's a really good feeling.
Sweat buckets no
So-
matter what.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
know.
sweaty at the end
Not
of my
working.
workout. It's gross. Always. And I always feel like I'm the only one. Like I look around the class and everybody else is dry and I'm like, why? What is wrong with me?
Well, you're
Why
It
working
means they're
hard.
not working hard enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not
working
working hard
hard.
enough.
so sweaty?
But
yeah.
yoga's amazing. Well, and then I just heard over the weekend this new type of exercise that I've never heard of before, and it's called bar. Remember, like my sister-in-law was talking
Barre.
about it?
Oh, that's
I've
cool.
never heard of it.
Ballet. That's ballet.
Yeah, it's like a ballet type of form, and
But
a lot
I
of bar
didn't-
classes, like they'll do Pilates in it as well too. Like they kind of put it together.
Is it because they're holding on to like that bar? Is that what they call a bar? Or am I
Mhm.
not like? Is that?
Barre is
Basically,
just yeah.
it's pretty
Go for it.
intense actually. Like it's so like hard on like your calves and like your glutes and stuff because it's a lot of like kind of coming up onto your toes.
Yeah, or whatever. You're right. Yeah. No, I
It's a
looked it
lot
up
of
and I was
movement.
like, what is this?
Yeah.
Barre is not new. It's just that it's typically what ballerinas have been doing for warming up and exercise. And they just made it mainstream, I think, in like the 90s it started to
Yeah.
come out. But it's just it's a dance kind of warm up, it's a warm up or stretching or working out for dancers, typically like ballet dancers. But yeah, it's with the bar. I remember when I used to take ballet class, that's what we used to do in class to warm up before the class, and then it just became like. And then I remember there's all these fusions in the 90s, like yoga booty bar ballet, yoga.
That still completely exists. It's definitely still like that. Like they kind of make it like for like the public type of thing, right? Because usually bar is something you'd see if you were like actually training in dance. But now like at places like Good Life, they have like a soul body bar, so it's like Pilates bar and stuff like that. So yeah.
And it reminds me of things like Zumba that also came up in like the 90s, right? The fusion of dance and aerobics and trying to make working out something that you actually enjoy as opposed to like feeling like a job. Yeah.
You know what we used to do in grade 7 and 8 in gym class? We actually used to, like, the gym teacher used to put on Taibo. And I used to love Taibo. And still to this day, I put on those old videos of Taibo and like on YouTube. 3 times a week, you will see an absolute difference in your body. I don't know why, but it's what happens. Taibo is really good. And that's like that's like kickboxing, right? Or like what is it?
It's like it's like shadow boxing.
Taibo.
It's like what boxing?
Oh, okay.
It's like shadow boxing and aerobics kind of. So yeah, it's shadow boxing. So you don't actually hit anything, but you're kind of doing like the movements and using your core a lot and stuff like that. And I used to do a lot of beach body workouts. So beach body things like P90X and there was the other girl, Shalene Johnson, had all these workouts. And the first time I ever heard of HIIT training was from those videos, and it was fun. I was like, it's fun doing, I don't know, like kind of more high energy. I like high energy, and I like doing with other people. That's what I always say because it's more fun. Yeah.
Who was that guy
that
guy? He was like, who, that guy that, I think I did a workout with you before.
Sean T, the P90X. Yeah. Sean T.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's dope. I liked him. I still like him. He still does stuff. He's still like dances. Hey, Sam.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, dog. Oh, my dog just perked up right now. He just perked up. He's like, what is that? No, you be quiet. There's nothing here. You can go back to your crate, please. He's gonna start barking. No, you don't.
Stop.
You be quiet, please.
Stop.
He's responding to you.
Your dog is talking back. That's what's happening. Your dog is talking back. He's like, I don't listen to you. That is disrespectful.
My dog's the exact same. My dog's the exact same. And like maybe
what kind of dog do you have?
Close my door, you'll hear it. I have a Morkie, like a Maltese Yorkie mix.
Oh my gosh.
Morkie?
Yeah. He gets separation anxiety. So I have the door closed and he just wants to come and lie here. So he's going to be whining in like 10, 15 minutes probably.
Oh, you got to bring him on so we can see him. I love little dogs.
He's like 10 pounds.
Stop this.
He's a little one.
I love Yorkies, but they are quite yappy because I had a Yorkie
very yappy
or two. Yeah.
So yappy.
Cute. Yeah.
So, you know what? We can ask Sam the question about the pills.
Oh, the picture.
I want to find out more about your like health and fitness journey, Ali. Both of you guys. But yeah, we'll ask Sam about what pill he would choose.
Which 2 pills of these would you choose, Sam? You could only choose 2.
I have a lot of money. Yeah, what? 7.
Of course.
I can do all the rest sort of myself.
So have a lot of money, you have to choose another one.
Oh, you get 2? Oh, 2?
2.
Always feel happy? I don't know about that. Read minds for 3 days is kind of weak. I think eat without gaining weight and have a lot of money go hand in hand.
What? Well, I thought you were gonna say, I don't know, man. I just don't know how tall you are, but I thought like guys would probably say
I,
at 5 centimeters.
I
you're
was
like-
gonna say I was, but 5 centimeters is nothing. Like I'd rather have a lot of
You
It's
would have
muscle.
thought
fine.
about it. If it was like, okay, add 5 inches, you're like, yeah, that's it, right? If
I'd
it's
be like, yeah, give me a foot. If I have a foot on there, yeah.
okay.
I
So
told you, see, this is too easy. We need to get a different, like one that's harder than this. This one is like too easy. This is like everyone's gonna pick those two every
No,
time.
I was gonna do the become super strong, but I'm like, I can do that in the gym. What can I not do on my own?
Mhm.
yeah, I want to hear more about like how you like or what your like health and fitness journey has looked like.
Me?
Both of you guys, like, or
I'll start.
yeah, ladies first.
Okay, like what? Well, my health and fitness journey probably mostly started because I went to school for kinesiology. So I went to Guelph Humber, and there we do like a degree in kinesiology, but we also do a diploma in health and fitness promotion as well. So it was kind of like all together that I learned a lot about exercise, a lot about how the body works. And then right after graduating, I went right into massage school. So then I continued to learn more about like the way the body works, injury, how to treat it. And a lot of that comes from exercise, obviously, like, exercise prescription that you can give somebody to like rehabilitate any type of injury. And because I was working at a kickboxing studio at the same time, and I was like working out on my own as well too, going to the gym. So I kind of felt like it all worked together. And especially now in what I do. So not only uh, teaching at a new kickboxing gym, I'm also now training as well too, which Sam doesn't know, but I'm training in Muay Thai now. And yeah, maybe also working at a Muay Thai gym, like, and they have a clinic next to it as well too. So I'm looking into that as well. So I'm kind of put everything that I learned together, and my fitness journey has kind of started since then. I would say I was like 19 probably.
Yeah,
That's
and like
awesome.
what? Sorry, no, yeah, that is amazing. I was gonna say like, what made you care so much about like being fit? Like in high school, like were they? I don't know, what was it?
It was definitely not in high school that I felt any need. I remember at some point I was like doing martial arts when I was younger, and I hated like sweating so much and exercising to a point. But I've always been active. Like I played sports growing up. But it was more so like once I really started to learn like how the body works, and in like a weird way, you also learn that the body is very fragile, which sucks. But the more that you take care of it, like the better it is for like yourself, and just even living day to day, like not even just learning how to, like lift very heavy weights above your head. It's more about like the better that I exercise and for my own body, like the easier my quality of life is. So it kind of just went hand in hand, and then it really kind of became like a passion of mine to want to stay that way, and to help others do the same.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Like it. I concur. Even though that's something that I didn't really like think about for myself until I was older. Probably I would say until I had like had kids. Maybe just before I had kids is when I started to care about
Hmm.
my health. But yeah. What about
yeah.
you? Sam?
It's good that you're doing it. You did it. You started so young,
Hmm.
Yeah.
right? So because you'll probably
So
keep it
it's not
up.
like a part. Oh yeah, it's like a part of my life now. Like I don't think I can go without exercising, which is a good thing.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
What about you, Sam?
Oh, I was on mute. Um, I was a fat kid growing up, so that's motivation enough. I think. Like, yeah, for a long time I was like chubby, and I wanted to do Muay Thai. I wanted to do like martial arts, but I was like, I didn't want to be that, the fat guy going into the gym. I'm trying to learn martial arts, so I was like, okay, let me go to the gym. So I went to the gym for like 3, 4 years on my own, working out and whatever, and I probably lost like 60 pounds, 50, 60
Wow.
pounds. Yeah, and then I went into Muay Thai and like mixed martial arts, and it was game over. However, I think along the lines that Ali said, fitness for health was my main priority. Like, you know, I wanted to be healthy. I wanted a long life, stuff like that. And obviously, like, I knew within my family there were certain things that we were prone to, weight gain, like, you know, black people, you know, all this stuff. Right. So I was like, okay, let me work on it from now. But it also translated into will. So for me, my working out, I guess in the gym or in martial arts, translates a lot to mental fortitude. So the stronger my body is, the stronger my mind, and they both kind of intertwine in that way. So it's like a trifecta. It's more so for my fitness, right, and health, for my mental clarity, I guess, and strength. And I'm sure there's a spiritual aspect in there somewhere, you know, you can find and see how it adds up. But yeah, I think it's multifaceted. It's a little different than Ali because that's more of a passion and it ties into a career and things like that. For me, it's more so of like an outlet and a good routine, like a good habit to have.
When you
I
say
like
that you said you were a fat kid, how old were you when you were a chubby
So,
kid or a little
so
bit?
I was actually like I was really skinny when I was a kid, and then something happened. I don't know what happened. It was just
same.
Hormones. Hormones.
no.
Same.
I
Mm-mm.
think it was
It's bad
McDonald's.
habits catching up.
It was
It's bad.
McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 6'7", probably like
Yeah.
7 when I started putting on weight, and
Mhm.
then it was in the end of high school that I lost it.
Interesting. I'm gonna
That
have to
sounds
see a
like me.
picture.
No, the beginning of high school I started losing.
You know, they say that if a child is overweight between the ages of 5 and 8, then they're most likely to be an overweight adult.
Yeah,
You read that?
I
Between that age, if they're overweight during that time, then they'll most likely be an overweight adult. Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense because those are from 0 to 5 year training, from 5 to 10 or 5 to 12 year disciplining. So yeah, it's a lack of discipline. Makes sense.
Also, I heard that fat cells don't die. So if you get fat cells as a child, they never actually go away. They just shrink. And then
Mhm.
that's what's more prone to being chubbier later because they just expand again very easily later. They don't actually go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I have a similar experience to you, Sam, where I was skinny until I was about 10 maybe, and then my bad habits caught up with me. And this is what I always tell my kids because my daughter has great eating habits. My son does not, but he's super skinny. He's super skinny right now, but I keep telling him this is going to catch up with you. You're just skinny right now because you're a kid, but it's going to catch up with you. You got to change the way you eat. But that's exactly what happened to me. I got chubby like maybe around 11 or 12, and then I
Mm,
lost all the weight, and
mm,
then I got chubby again like I don't know. I've been fluctuating up and down for since I was a teenager, like
no,
always up and down, up and down.
yeah, no.
But yeah,
I was either like skinny, and I got chubby, and now I'm like this. And God willing, I don't see myself ever like changing. So
Well, you're
Yeah, I
active.
was the same as you. I was the same as you, Maureen. I was kind of like, and I still am. I still like fluctuate. I'm not like the skinniest girl or anything like that. I never was, but I think there's a huge difference between me now and then me like maybe 4 or 5 years back, where it was now I may not be like I have like you have like your fat on you, you have all the things like that, but I know that I have muscle and I'm like strong in comparison to how I was before, where it was just not active and not eating pretty well, like well at all, and it was just a lot of fluctuation. So now it's just more strength, I think, that I'm looking for.
yeah, it's
Exactly. I think especially with females, to be honest with you, and that's why I say hormones. It's like our
Yeah.
bodies start to change, and we start to like go through different phases. We start to develop differently, right? So I think
Mhm.
it just happens, and then and then our eating, we get hungry during certain times and
Yeah.
can't take off the weight.
I just started kind of, or like in the last maybe year or so, just started working around like, I guess that like how every week is different for a female, and it's made all the difference in like how I train and stuff like that.
really. Where did you get
Mhm.
that? Like, where did you get that information? Or like, 'cause I'd love
You
that
kind of
information.
just, yeah, there's so much on the internet about it. it's called like cycle syncing basically. So yeah, and then when you kind of, if you know your own like cycle every month, like if it's consistent, it's easy to know where, like what phase you're in and how to incorporate, because there's certain exercises that are beneficial to do during that time when you have that energy, and then other times if you're not, like it's easier to do something like Pilates and something a little bit more low impact but still doing the same thing. So that's helped so
Mm.
much.
I can send you on TikTok, Maureen. I found one
Okay,
on
send it
TikTok
to
and
me.
tells you,
There's so
like,
many TikToks.
yeah, it's good. It's good. And I'm like, oh, and it tells you like exactly how you're like what's happening. So
Yeah, I'm very curious to know because, like, with guys, it doesn't work the same. Like, they don't have to worry about hormones and stuff like that. But with women, that plays a
they
huge
do. But
role. Huge role. I actually read that
You
it's
do.
actually more beneficial for women to get like they were saying, if you're tired, it's actually better for you to sleep than it is to like go to the gym because of
Whereas
the
for us, it's
hormones.
probably the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it
no,
is that one.
sorry, I was saying, like I was just talking, that's basically like one of those phases, right? Like your body's naturally more tired a certain week in the month, and it's okay to like rest, because if you continue to push like through all that, it doesn't really do much for you. And then injury happens as well too. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Women's
it's important to get in tune with your body.
Yeah.
Mhm.
However, I think it is though, like for women, it is natural to keep more body fat. We learned that, right? It is common for the different cycles and for childbirth and all those different things that you guys go through. For men, however, it's not healthy to keep too much fat.
I'm sorry. You're watching me yell at this dog. You saw your dog to shut up. You're like,
He,
I said, you like, shut up. I'm like,
stop.
you're on mute. Oh, you said stop. I thought you said shut up.
Because he's there and he's just like, you hear him.
Aw.
When I was
Anyways, yeah,
I think it was in my early 20s, I got caught up with a lot of like weight loss pills. And to be honest with you, like there was one that actually really worked. It was absolutely amazing. Just saying. It
You were
was
telling me
amazing.
about it. We were trying to find it.
Oh no, it's done. It's done. They it's off. It wasn't FDA approved.
Ephedrine is probably what it is.
It was
Yeah.
not FDA approved. Okay, so they had yeah. I think I got a Shoppers Drug Mart. It was like a while
Yeah,
ago.
it was probably ephedrine
You
because
could
now
eat
that's no
whatever you
longer allowed
want,
in
and
Canada.
you weren't gaining weight. You were actually like losing weight, and it was an orange pill. I remember that, and then I stopped taking it because because I remember I gave a pill to one of my friends, and she came back and she's like, "Hey, I don't like that pill," and I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "No, my heart was racing. It felt like I was gonna like." She said basically like she was gonna have a heart attack. She's like, "It's really bad," and I was like, "Oh gosh," I'm like, "That's true," and I got scared, so I stopped taking it, and then so I we shelved it. Like I stopped taking it for a long time, and then years later, a couple of people started asking me about it. And we went back to Shoppers Drug Mart to get it again, and it wasn't the same. I took it. I'm like, this is not the same pill, because and at that point it was FDA approved. So when
It's
it
probably
wasn't
ephedrine
approved,
because ephedrine was initially, and then there were all these class action lawsuits because of exactly that reason. It
yeah,
was
you
messing
heart
with people's
attack.
heart, and then they took it off the shelves. On that note, I also wanted to tell you, Tiana. Okay, so I actually was taking Ozempic for a long time, for like a year,
Yeah.
and it works. I lost weight because of it. It didn't work the way that it works for other people. So like my sister and some other people, they took Saxenda, they took Ozempic, and they lost huge amounts of weight in like a month or 2 months. And that was not the case for me. It took me like a year to lose like 30 pounds. So so I don't even know if Ozempic really worked the way it was supposed to, but I actually stopped taking it, T. I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah, you told me last weekend, or you mentioned it, and I think
Yeah.
that's actually probably a good idea, just
Yeah.
because there's a lot of crazy stuff, like more research being done now, where people are using it for weight loss, and yeah, just really bad side effects.
It's messing with people's stomachs. Like
Yeah,
some people have
gastro
like
for
stomach
sure.
paralysis, things like
Yeah.
that. That's crazy.
And then there's the Ozempic phase, and then when you start to lose like large amounts of like body fat, you look you look older faster, you look more
Yeah. I don't think that happened to me, but but I
yeah,
mean maybe it didn't, I just don't know. But I do think
because it
that
sinks in your face. That's what it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me the main concern was that there was a woman who died from it, and there was all these people who are saying that it was paralyzing their stomach and weird, like creepy things that I don't need that right now. So
Mm.
I just took myself off of it, and I'm like,
It
yeah, I'm
does
not.
mess with your stomach too. Like it does mess with your stomach. Did you ever have any stomach issues? It does mess with your stomach, for sure.
Yes, I did.
You,
Yeah.
you know what?
Hmm.
Fasting helps instead.
I know, but I like food.
Intermittent fast. I love food too. That's why I do it.
But
You know.
fasting messes with your cycle as a woman too, so you just have to be a little like
Oh,
your
okay.
time. It's actually it's sometimes it's not really the best option, but it
That's
does
probably
work.
true.
Absolutely, it
That
works.
is probably true. Intermittent fasting, I would say for men, is
Yep.
probably the safest and best way to
Yeah.
cut body fat. And if you're like working out, you'll build muscle, and like you'll put your body in a good homeostasis that way.
Mm.
Because if you think about how our ancestors used to eat, let's say before 200 years ago, right? It was hit or miss. You're not getting a kill every day. If you're hunting, and if you're, say, farming, you have a certain amount of produce that you can use a day, right? It has to last you throughout the season. So you're having maybe two meals a day. Like the whole concept of breakfast is new. That was like introduced within the last 100 years, and a lot of it was
Well,
for marketing, yeah, business. Like people didn't have access to food the way we do today. So you think about, you have easy access. You can walk to the fridge. Hyper palatable food is what they call it. Food that tastes really good. There's a lot of guys who talk about this, like Faraz Zahabi. This hyper, very good tasting food. You're able to just get it without no work. Whereas back in the day, if you wanted, say, steak, you had to go hunt the deer. You had to process the meat. You had to wait for it to cook. There was a whole process before you're able to eat. Now we skip that. So if you don't work out or you don't fast, you're basically just eating, right? Just
Yeah.
eating. Yeah. And I love to eat, so I get it. You could just eat all day. Yeah. Yeah.
I like like fasting. I like to do. I don't do it continuously, but I do try to do intermittent fasting once in a while. Or sometimes what I'll do, if I really feel out of control, like if I feel like I'm just eating way too much and I have no control, I will do a prolonged fast, which means like 3 days at least. And that's just like for my body to reset, like to just it's like a
three
yeah,
days.
like a huh?
I said
She's
three
talking to
days.
Jesus. She's
Yeah.
going on a
To be
fast.
honest,
She's about to
yeah.
faint. She won't eat because
No,
she's
but
like,
to be
"This is
honest,
Yeah.
that first 24 hours is the hardest, but after that, the desire to like eat all the time is gone. You don't feel it anymore. It's only
I would
that
be the
first
worst
24
person to be
hours.
around. I'd be so angry the whole time.
Yep. I've done it before, and I wait till like
I
6 o'clock, and I'm yelling at everyone. I'm flipping out on my husband, at the kids. I'm like, okay, I need to go like lay down or eat.
yeah, I flip out at the kids if I see them waste food because I'm hungry and they're wasting the food and I get so mad. I'm like, you cannot waste food. Some people are hungry.
Some people isn't you. Yeah. No,
No, but that's true. But I think like it's good, and I think there's even research that shows that there's some real huge benefits to having prolonged fast once in a while to your cell regeneration. It
yes.
actually helps prevent cancer and even
Yeah.
reverses cancer cells from mutating if you do that.
And
Because it's
aging.
and aging, a lot of benefits. So
Help with
like
aging?
ideally, I'd like to do it like once a month, like
Yeah.
one 3-day fast a month. I don't do that, but I think that's what I would like to get into the habit of doing.
So I saw the same studies you saw, Marine. Like basically, when you fast, instead of your cells, basically they get to a certain point and then they divide. When you fast, you tell your body that there's limited amount of resources. So instead of cell division, they focus on cell like repair.
Hmm.
So they repair the damaged tissue. They look for any diseased or broken down cells and they consume them. All the cancer cells that would be in your body, they would look for them, find them, because they're basically using that for fuel. So it
Hmm.
goes on this whole like fix, fixing
It's
all
like
your
a
symptoms.
detox.
Yeah,
Strangely.
basically.
Yeah.
And that's why I think like if I ever got diagnosed with cancer, which to be honest, the stats are pretty good that I will at some point. The stats
Don't
are
say that.
no, but 50% of
Don't on your
Canadians
life,
over
bro.
50.
We rebuke that in Jesus' name.
50% of Canadians over 50. 50%? That's insane.
Well, I'm in the other
That is
50. That's living till
But anyways,
100, sick free.
Yeah.
no, I don't want to live that long. I want to live to like
Girl,
80 years old. I'm good. 80 years old. I'm good.
80's the new 60.
80's young. Yeah. 80's
No, no,
80's the
80,
new
I'm good.
60.
No, I don't want to stay here longer than I have to. But anyways, okay, that's
Girl.
hold on.
She's
what
on
I
her
was
life. Like,
That's a
no, I
different
want to move
podcast.
on.
That's a
I know
different-
the
that's a
next life
different
is
podcast.
better. I want to
That's a
move
different
you
podcast.
said it. You
That's
said
fair.
it.
So yeah. So what was I saying? So that if I ever got diagnosed with cancer, my first initial thing that I would try is a prolonged fast. That's what I would do before I did any chemo, before I did anything else. That's the first thing I would do.
Dr.
Try
Sebi.
and
I've heard you say that before.
yeah, because I think that would make it really, because chemo is so detrimental to your body. It's super, super bad for your body. So I would do that as like a final, like a last resort, but I would try everything else natural before I got to that point. That's personally. But I don't believe, for me personally, I don't want to live a long time here. I really don't. I don't want to at all. I pray that once my kids are old and independent and have their own families and they don't need me anymore, and my husband doesn't need me more, I would go. Like, I don't want to stay here a long time. For me. That's how I feel about it. I don't want to.
Your purpose might be when you're 80 years old. Boom. Then your purpose comes about and you find joy and passion.
Pretty sure my purpose is
Damn it.
no, I'm pretty sure my purpose is my kids. I'm pretty confident of that. But I don't know. God knows, right? But I think like I don't have a say, but if I had a say, or my request would be like, please don't keep me here longer than I have to be here. That's all.
I hear that. But if you've ever heard of
She's
Dr.
gonna be like
Sebi,
miserable 80-year-old. She's like, damn it, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm like,
Yeah, I will. If I'm like sitting
I
in a
know
bed and
people
I
that are
can't
like
do
that.
anything
They're
for
just
myself and I'm
miserable.
just a burden to
that
everyone
is
else.
different. That's different.
Mhm.
That can
want
be
that.
that can happen. That can happen when you're 30, 40, 50.
Yeah, God forbid. I would want someone to take me out. Take me out. I don't want that. I don't want it. I don't ever want to be a burden to anyone. I just no.
This is really
But-
sad.
Have you ever heard of
Poor
Dr.
her.
Sebi?
I'm just-
Maureen,
I just took a whole turn.
you should
Another
search up Dr.
podcast.
Sebi.
I've
that?
heard of
He-
him. Yeah,
He
I've
talks
heard
about
of him
all
on
that same
TikTok.
stuff. Basically, he had like diabetes. He had like a whole bunch of stuff. He was blind in one eye and stuff. And he fasted for like 90 days, only drinking like water or juice or something like that. And he cured or treated, whatever you want to refer
Who
to
is
it
this?
as,
Who is this?
Dr.
Dr.
Sebi.
Sebi. Yeah, I've heard
He's
of him.
very big.
Is he like is he affiliated with like HIV or something?
Yeah,
What was it?
so
yeah.
There was a whole thing basically where he was taken to the Supreme Court and he won, or like one of the biggest courts in the States, like either the second highest level or the highest level. And he won his case because he was claiming that he had treated people with HIV and herpes and AIDS and all these things and reversed it. And basically he brought in a bunch of witnesses to testify on his behalf and XYZ. Yeah, it was interesting, but he said that fasting plays a big role in, now the studies say cell regeneration, but his thing was detoxing, right? Giving your body a chance to fight the illness. Because like, what was he saying? If we're eating all the time, your digestive system is using all of its energy to process the food. But when you are fasted, like you have nothing in your system, your body then switches to its immune system response. So like it targets all the bad cells and it fixes all the joint pain and
It's a
you know what I
hack.
mean? Yeah.
But I
Like, he
do
did
know that with prolonged fasting, you can actually die if you don't do it properly. And I have seen documentaries of people who have died from doing it improperly. And what I mean by that is when you end a fast that's longer than 3 days, some people have fasted for 10 days, 30 days, whatever. But when you end the fast or when you're in the fast, there's certain things you have to do because you're depleting your body of all its minerals. So you have to take certain minerals or make sure you have certain minerals in you or don't get like dehydration. And when you break the fast as well, and I'm telling you this from experience, when you break the fast, you have to break it slowly and in a very like strategic way, because if not, your body will like you can research this. Your body like goes crazy, like it was like an overwhelm on your system all of a sudden. So yeah, anybody out there who does want to try a prolonged fast, do your research because
I think
don't
that
just go
happened to the
into it.
Holocaust victims. Some of the Holocaust survivors, like the soldiers, were offering them food and giving them food, and they were just eating, right? Because they were basically being starved, and they started to die. Because I think it shocks your system or something. You could Google that.
Yeah, it
I'm
can
pretty
be
sure
risky.
that's correct.
I know that you're not supposed to eat like a lot before a long fast. Like, don't go to Mandarin if you're going to fast for like 3 days. Apparently, that's what I've heard, right? Like, you don't.
It's more when you come off the fast that's the concern. It's
Yeah.
not going into the fast. It's when you're coming off of the fast because of I don't know. You have to research this because I'm not a doctor, but I do know that when I once did a 7-day fast, and at the end of the 7 days, I had to start really slowly bringing food back into my system. So I started with like broth, and then the next day I would have something else small. And the next day, something like that. Because if you don't do that, your system, like I don't know, it just goes crazy.
Oh, it's called refeeding syndrome, Maureen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
so something to do, which is when the fluid imbalances occur following a period of fasting. Okay, which kind of makes
Oh, he must have accidentally hit that X button.
Kicked
And
himself out probably by accident. He'll be back, I'm sure. But yes, he's right about refeeding syndrome, and that's what you have to be careful when you're coming back into the fast, that you're coming in like gradually. Just do anyone who was interested in doing prolonged fast, please do your research.
yeah.
there you are.
Hit yourself out by accident.
Yeah, I literally I was switching tabs.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's what I thought.
But yeah, but it makes sense because if you girl, where's Ali? Ali knows about this. If you're dehydrated,
Right there.
lack of fluids, yeah, but she's on mute. She should be talking
Oh.
about this. Yeah, it's something I noticed because it's similar to like if you don't have enough salts, right? Like what you're talking about the minerals. If you don't have enough salts and not enough liquids, something with your blood. You're either gonna have too much sugar in your blood or too much something in your cells. Ali?
Potassium. Well, it's like
So
a salt and potassium like cycle
yes.
thing that the body has, and you can't throw it out of whack. So that's why sometimes they'll say like, because people have too much water. Sometimes there's not enough like
So
minerals in their water. Yeah. So it's like
that's why
a
sometimes
whole thing.
after training I get fries. Yeah. I'll drink
Get
water,
some
like
salt.
a bunch of water and just eat some fries, you know?
Yeah. When I did the 7-day fast, I made sure I got electrolytes every day because if you don't, you mess with your system and it's even painful. Like your
You got that.
body will hurt. Like everything hurts. Your muscles, your joints, everything hurts if you don't have the minerals that you need.
Can I
You can't
mention?
think. Yeah.
I just want to mention that I had a coworker, and he was doing prolonged fast. Like he was always fasting. Like he would never be eating, and he used to take little salt packets and just put it in his mouth. He was very thin, and I think that he was actually a very intelligent guy, but it actually seemed like he had brain fog. Like there was things
Most
that he
likely.
couldn't put together. It was very strange, and I hope he never hears this because I feel bad about saying it. Like, but it was actually quite sad because I think that he was actually an intelligent person, but I don't know if it was the lack of food. I've never seen him eat. I think one time he did eat with us. We were having like a holiday gathering, and that was the only time I think that he was saying like he was going to eat. But other than that, he does not eat.
Is he anorexic? Like had an eating disorder?
I think that he was fasting. I think he was constantly fasting, and he was quite thin. I mean, he could have had an eating disorder. Really, it's true. But my point is that a lot of times they say like fasting is good for different things, especially with your brain function. That it actually makes you be more alert.
Mhm.
In this case, it was just brain fog. It was like simple things he was not able to put together. So I think in some cases you have to be very careful with that, because you start to not think straight, right?
They say when your body goes into ketosis, your
Nah,
mind is more alert. But
yeah,
I think ketosis requires a certain amount of
of
some
body
sort of
fat.
fat. Yeah, a
Yeah.
certain amount of fat
So
for it
like,
to work.
I'm pretty sure if you're on like, what do they call it? The diet,
Keto.
keto. If you're on keto, everything that most of what you're running on is fats from the protein. And when you're running on fats, it's different than running on carbs. However, your brain prefers to run on carbs. So like what you saying about like him having brain fog, that's a lack of carbs. And if he's not getting enough protein or enough, because it's not even just protein, it's specific animal meat. Like there's something in the fat that is naturally occurring within animals, and it helps with ketosis. So I don't know, because you hear people like Joe Rogan, they're on that like straight primal diets. They only eat meat, and they're like, "Yo, I feel great." Like crazy.
My cousin is doing that, and he keeps telling me to do it.
My
My
husband was
cousin,
doing it for a while, but I don't like it.
I want
I
to
can't
try.
do it. I can't just eat meat and nothing else. I don't like meat that much. I don't like
Barbecue
it that
all
much.
day, every day.
No, but it just becomes like too much. Like what my husband was doing, I was also following, and I was like, no, to the point where I was like, I can't eat another steak. That's it.
Jordan Peterson also does that, and he swears by it because he said he was really sick at one point and he almost died, and that diet like saved him, and he said he's never felt better. So
Wow.
there's something to it. I just can't get into the idea that all I eat is meat. Like I can't. I don't like
Well,
meat that much.
you could switch it up to like chickpeas,
I thought it
lentils.
was
You
supposed to
know,
be just meat. A carnivore diet. Protein.
come on,
right?
man. You know, when you eat a cow, he has some stuff in his stomach, man. Yeah, you know, you eat that. Some veggies.
I like veggies more than meat. That's the problem. I feel like it'd be easier for me to be a vegetarian than to be a carnivore. I like veggies.
Oh,
I
really?
love, yeah, I do. They taste better to me. They have more flavor, more complexity of flavor, more profile, more flavor profile.
Good for you.
You're not seasoning your meat there.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You're
love
not
it.
seasoning your chicken. Complexity
Yeah,
of
I do,
flavor.
but
Yo,
even if you
green.
season it, the inside
Yo,
still tastes the same. Like
what
the
do you
inside
mean?
of
Yo,
meat,
you're
the
not
inside of
seasoning well
chicken
enough. You have to get the
always
seasoning
tastes like meat
everywhere. The
and
green
chicken.
seasoning shake up the bucket, you know,
Mm-mm.
the bag.
Still not as good as like fried eggplant to me or something. Like,
What?
I love eggplant. Oh
Fried
my god, I love it.
eggplant?
Yes.
You and my mama get
She
along.
does make good fried eggplant. I've had her eggplant before. It is
Oh my god,
actually
it's
good.
so good.
It's
You
true.
and my mama get along. She loves
Yeah.
eggplant.
Yeah, I do. I do too. Yeah, me and your mom should get together and make some eggplant.
She just bakes. She put that in the oven, just bake it. Yeah,
Same.
whip it up with something.
Same. Yep, eggplant. I like to bake the eggplant, and my other favorite thing, which is kind of weird, is I only like this fried though. I don't like it any other way. Cauliflower.
No man, cauliflower
Cauliflower
tastes
with
nice.
garlic aioli. Oh, it's so
You know what you should try? My mom
what?
will boil it. She'll mash it and mix it with cheese and then bake it and make cauliflower pie.
Anything with cheese
Wow.
sounds good.
Yo, yeah, it
Cauliflower
tastes
Cheese
bomb.
sounds good.
Like she'll
But
mash.
cauliflower, you gotta have it like there has to be cooked a certain way because if you don't, like let's say it's just boiled, it just smells like feet. It doesn't taste good. You gotta have it like I don't know, cooked up. See, the cheese will probably cover that, but like if you're not careful, cauliflower could just smell and taste like feet. So
Yeah, no. She'll whip it up. You boil it, you mash it, but you
no,
still leave it a
you
little,
gotta
you
tell
know,
your mom to
cauliflowery.
try it fried, like until it gets like brown and crispy. With some
You guys
garlic.
are making me hungry. Can we stop talking about food? 'Cause I'm like thinking
Yeah, I
about
thought this was fitness and health. Why are you frying up the cauliflower, yo? Fitness and health. She's frying up the cauliflower.
It's a
Better be
Middle
vegetable
Eastern. It's
oil.
a Middle Eastern thing, honestly. Because if you go to like Alibaba's or any of those like
Alibaba.
Lebanese restaurants, yeah, they'll have it. They'll have the fried cauliflower. They'll have the fried eggplant, and get that with the garlic sauce. I'm telling you, it's
With the garlic
so
aioli.
freaking good. Oh my gosh, yes, so good.
Yeah,
making
you
me
guys
hungry.
love that
Let's
stuff
stop
over
talking
there,
about
man.
food. Listen,
Yeah.
like I do want to go back to like we're talking about like not keto but carb loading, because I did hear that like if you're running a marathon, it's important to like have lots of carbs either in the morning or the night before, because then you could, right, you burn. Because Sam, you mentioned something about like being able to, you get more energy from carbs than you do from the fat.
So it's easier to access. Yeah. So like
Yeah,
I think
carbs are basically your energy,
Yeah.
like what you make.
So if you're on, like if you're doing the keto diet, because in keto you're not eating carbs at all, essentially, right? So would that be like an ideal diet for someone who is running a marathon or does like high intensity exercise?
I've only like done it. I think I've tried it one time or so, and what I found was that I was extremely exhausted because that's what, like, carbs are what your body's using for energy, right? And the only reason that we gain weight and things like that is because we have more than the body needs. Like, we'll just be eating a lot more than that's necessary. So there's a specific, like, good amount to have. It all depends on your body, obviously, but a good amount to have that your body's using at the same time as you're using your energy, right? So like if I were to go and run for like 15 minutes on like a treadmill, there's a certain amount of like carbs or like carbohydrates, which is like the sugars basically, that's gonna help me kind of get through that. So for me to try to either lose weight or kind of maintain a good amount, it's like I've had a good amount of carbs and then I've exercised a good amount that I've kind of evened it out. So I used kind of what I ate into my exercise, and that's usually what weight gain happens when you have way too much of it, and then you use part, but then the rest gets kind of stored as like, fat and things like that. So yeah, like that's, I don't know how some people go forward with like keto, because I know that because I do a lot of like higher intensity exercise, like it just did not work for me having no like carbs at all. But there's definitely like a specific limit to have that'll be super helpful, because you eat it and then you're going to use it and burn it at the gym, and then you're good.
So to add on to that, I think the better option instead of keto would be similar to what you guys were talking about before, like cycling. It's something called carb cycling. So the days in which you have your hardest or heaviest workouts, or like your most productive days, you have your most carbs. And then the days in which, say, like you have rest or you're not doing as much, you cut your carbs down. So basically within a week, it's supposed to kind of go like 100% carbs, 75, 50, 25, 0. So you save that 0 carb day for a day where you're not really doing anything. It's like a rest day, or you're just chilling, hanging out, working, whatever. But days in which you're going to perform, like you're going to the gym, you're going to lift, you need carbs. If you're going, to box, or you're going to martial arts, you need carbs. If you're going to run with your kids, you need carbs. So those days you kind of have to factor, am I working very heavy today? Like, am I working a lot? Am I working 50%? And you kind of match your carbs to suit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think keto works for a lot of people who have more of like a sedentary life where they're not exercising often and things like that. And those are a lot of the people that say that, oh, well, I saw a lot of weight loss because, well, they didn't use much of their like energy and carbs in the day anyway. So then they didn't have to really replenish it. But that's the main reason why it never worked for me, because even if I was not exercising that day, I have a very active job. So then I think the only ever time that I maybe didn't have any carbs is because I took an entire week off because I got like my wisdom teeth removed, right? So then I was in bed all week and I didn't have to do anything, and I don't think I ate much carbs. I didn't feel the need to, and I was okay. But there was no way that I could eat that little as I did that week on normal day to day, because it's just so much that I have to do, and I'm always on my feet that I would just be exhausted.
Okay, so keto is not ideal for everyone. That's true. That makes sense. I have another question. Do you guys care about BMI? Like, do you guys pay attention to like, oh, you type in like your numbers? Like, the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like BMI is, depending on your body type, not necessarily.
Are you talking about their own or like their partners? Who are you talking about?
Oh no, I mean like BMI in general. Like, do you think that BMI is a good like, is it a good way to like gauge where you should be at? Like, you know what I mean?
The fitter,
Yeah.
the fitter you get, the more it matters. in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
get the more
because
matter.
BMI is like your height to weight ratio, which it's not always the most accurate because you don't take account for muscle mass, you don't take
Right.
account like your organs and all the other stuff. I think something that's more important is like your body fat percentage, because the weight, like, because obviously your weight can kind of fluctuate up and down, but then there's instances where people they're exercising, they're eating their protein, they're getting their muscle up, but their weight only changed maybe like 5 pounds. But what you see is completely different. Like they look like completely different people and they look like they've lost over like 20, 30 pounds. But realistically, it was just them like recompositioning their body. And the BMI would have stayed the same. The BMI would have told them that they're still either overweight or whatever because their weight has stayed exactly the same. But their body fat percentage would have been different because they've lost that weight and fat, but they've gained muscle, right? So
And even in that,
BMI
like,
is not my favorite.
it's, to me, I think all of the things like BMI, body fat, what else is there? Your water content, your muscle ratio, like all of those things. That's why I like Renfo, because it told you everything. When it comes to body fat, right? For women, like I mentioned earlier, we learned this at work, right? We used to tell you guys in consults. Women naturally have a higher, what's the word? Retention for body fat. Naturally, you guys hold on to it quicker, longer, more, because it's assistive to you guys. It helps. And you will see you guys store it in places that are beneficial. In your hips, it's easier to carry. Like midsection, it's easier to carry. It, if you read BMI or even body fat and you look at me versus, say, Ali, it's going to say two different things. And she may be healthier than me, even though I have a lower body fat. Because for her body, that's how it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. That's why I say, like, for men, body fat should be a target, because you have to be in a sweet spot. If your body fat gets too high, it affects your testosterone, which then lowers your ability to put on muscle. And then it's a cycle, right? The less muscle you have, the less calories you burn over time, the more fat you get. So it becomes this big thing. If you let body fat sit for too long, it rolls and snowballs. It's going to slow your testosterone, slow your muscle production, which then puts on more fat. So then
There was this,
it's crazy.
yeah, sorry. Keep going.
No. It's just like, it's
There was
crazy.
Dog sleeping. Is your dog sleeping?
Yeah.
I can fully hear that dog snoring. Oh, that's a good clue. Oh my gosh. I'm like, okay. All right. So go ahead, Ali.
there's this thing that I remember. It's one thing that always stuck with me when I was in university, like studying kin, that everybody hated to hear, but it was true because basically the body gets comfortable and can get comfortable with a higher weight and keep going from there. But even if you lose weight, you kind of drop it down, your body is still comfortable with that high weight. And it's always trying to kind of get you up there. And you basically have to work against your body every day to stay where you are or keep the consistency that you have. Because the moment you start to kind of fall off of that consistency that was working, it starts to climb right immediately. And that was the most frustrating thing for anybody and like in fitness and just generally to hear that like your body will always just get comfortable at that top weight. And if you push that top weight, it's just gonna keep going with you. But yeah, your body kind of doesn't really get comfortable too much with the losing weight because it thinks, oh, like you need to survive, like you're hurting yourself type of thing. But in reality, it's just like that's why when you get into fitness and trying to lose weight, it's something you have to try to continue to maintain,
Discipline.
like discipline for like the rest of your life, basically. Otherwise, you can get to a certain point, and I'm sure Sam already knows that, like getting to the point that he got to, he can't just revert back to his old ways from before.
No.
Because it would just bring back the exact same result, if anything faster too. It would just, because it knows that part of his body. It's like memory, basically.
Yeah.
And it's you said something before that. Am I on mute? Oh.
No, I have a question. Sorry, because just to like
No,
what
go on.
you were saying, Ali. So for example, like, what I've heard is that like same thing you just said is like once your body gets to a certain weight and you lose weight, it's always going to fight to get back to that weight. I always call it like fighting the fat, but I heard that if you hold down your weight for at least 6 months, this is what I heard, or a year, that will become your new normal. Is that true?
That I don't remember hearing, but in my own personal experience, I can kind of see where that would like
I
work,
think it's
right?
true.
Like if you're able to, because I know for me, there's always a certain weight that I'll fluctuate right back up to, but I was able to get myself out from even higher than that, and I dropped down, and then I stay consistent for close to a year, even just in that same weight. That even if I've dropped down, if I've kind of let it go and I didn't really focus the way that I have, it just kind of goes back up to that one, which is a good thing. But it slowly inches up, right? So sometimes people will be really comfortable. They're like, okay, well, I haven't really been working out frequently and like I used to, and I only went up like 2-3 pounds to what I was before. But if you kind of keep playing with that, it starts to go slowly right back up to what it was before. So you definitely have to at least maintain it for sure for even like close to a year for it to be like the new normal. But even then, your body can slowly train you out of it without a problem. Like it'll be like, oh yeah, this is normal for you right now, but keep pushing it. We're going right back to what it was before. Like it's very, very sensitive like that.
I think it's that like your body wants to get back to like a normal, but I also think it's part of your biology, right? Like back in the day or in just in general, if you were fat, it meant you were doing good. Like, you had resources, you had food, you didn't have to worry. When you were slim and trim and like low body fat, it tells your body, hey, like we've missed a few meals. We didn't catch nothing this time. The ground is dry. We're hungry. So it puts you in this drive to get food. When you get food, you feel satiated, you feel content, you feel lazy, itis, you go to sleep. I think it becomes like that. Your body wants to chase that comfort. It wants to chase that. It wants to be in that comfort. It wants to know, hey, we have resources. Hey, we don't have to fight to survive. We're good, right? Fat means
On
good.
that topic, that makes me think that of like how different body types are ideal in different cultures and in different periods of time. So, like the last, I want to say 10 to 20 years, maybe, the more curvy type of body shape has been in style. Like in style. I'm going to say in style because I don't know how else to
Mhm.
explain it. But like it's more acceptable to have a more curvy figure, whereas okay, maybe not 20 years, maybe 10 to 15 years, but whereas in the 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s, like all the time before that, the ideal was super, 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 super skinny, almost like boiling.
I detest that. I defer.
Yeah, but I think that's a cultural thing too, Sam, because I think in the Caribbean and in culturally like Black cultures, Middle Eastern cultures, uh,
Spanish
not
cultures.
non-European cultures specifically. Non-European cultures, I think generally there was an association with curves being more feminine, more, I don't know, maybe it has to
This
do with
is
the
no.
idea that you can
This is
bear children.
biology. Yes, this is
Yeah.
biology. It has nothing to do with none of that. All of what you just said speaks to good childbearing potential. Before, back in the days, yeah, like like to me, anyways, I don't see how are you supposed to feed your child and you are this, you know,
Mhm.
like you know what I'm saying? When you are birthing said child and you have narrow hips, good luck. I've never birthed a child, but I can imagine it's harder when you have narrow hips. So like these things I think are just natural. It's how God made us, and He made us like this for a reason. Hence why women naturally carry body fat in these places because it helps. It's just there's a reason why
Yep.
women have wider hips than men.
Well, why do you think it is though that there have been such disparaging standards in different cultures or in different time periods? Like, why do you think it is that, like in the 80s and 90s, it was like crackhead chic, or I don't remember what the term was, but it was like being super unhealthy skinny. Like I remember the models had to be like a size 00 to be like actually hired to do runway and stuff like that. And it's only that you're starting to see a little bit more diversity. Even like I thinking of like daughter, she has Barbie dolls that are different sizes, and that was never the case before. They were all the same size. But now there are Barbie dolls that are hippie and like a little bit bigger and like yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. Some are shorter, some are taller. They have different hairstyles,
It should
different
reflect society, so that makes
everything.
sense.
Pardon?
I think I said it should like I feel like Barbie dolls should reflect society, so that makes sense that they look different.
Mhm.
But I think that we're going through different phases with body types. Like I think before they were saying like Marilyn Monroe was she was a little bit more curvier.
Yeah, but she was still
She was still
had
thin.
body.
She was still thin, right? But
Yeah, but she still had body.
I don't think she was thin. She was to me she's average. I don't know. I never thought she was thin. I just thought she was
no. But the whole thing is that she was actually a curvy woman. That's what they were saying. And she
Mhm.
But I'm just saying I think especially with the birth of the Kardashians, like the BBL look, like that thing was in. I think this is what I predict. I think that's actually going away soon. As we can see, like the Kardashians are looking much thinner these days. The booty is still there, but it's coming down a bit. So I think that we might be moving into a phase where skinny is back. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but that's what it kind of feels like.
That's definitely the reason why something like Pilates is huge now, because
Yes.
that's the way I see it promoted all over social media. That because I obviously, like, you see social media, and especially nowadays, everyone's like a personal trainer, everyone's working on like their fitness. So there's some girls who are like a lot of muscle mass, a lot of definition, and things like that.
Muscle
But then
mommies.
yes,
Muscle
but
mommies?
then that's what they call them. Yeah, they're
Never
crazy
heard of
strong and crazy built. But then you have like your other half where a little bit like slimmer and things like that, and they'll always like tie it to, oh well, I do Pilates, so Pilates like Pilates
Pilates.
arms, Pilates legs, like that's how they call it, and it was very much like a model thing that people do. So it's like huge now, and I think that's the biggest reason why Pilates is so like such a big thing now, because everyone's like, oh well, if I can go to Pilates, then I'll just slim down and tone up the way everyone wants to, and not like have to build a lot of muscle at the gym.
I think that's
Yeah.
that's the path that we're going down right now.
Yeah.
You might see that more. I just want to just add like one more thing in terms of like curvy bodies. Like, so my family's from Ghana. Like, I'm from Ghana, and we do like the beads. You ever see like the beads around your waist?
I've
You ever
seen
see that?
those. Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to wear beads actually before too, and that was actually a good indicator. Like every time they would get a little tight, I'd be like, "Oh, I gotta lose a little weight." Like that's how I would think of it. But really, like they even put beads on like young girls, and it actually apparently helps with like their curves and like to develop those curves, and yeah, so it helps with the curves, weight loss, and it's also something looked at as like it's supposed to be private, like only like your significant other is supposed to see the beads. But people wear it as fashion now, where you can actually see the beads like outside, like the shorts and stuff like that. It's cute, but for me,
I remember you showing me that. I thought it was really cool. I never seen that before.
I used to love my beads. My husband made me take them off, but I might get them back.
How dare he?
I think he thought it was weird. I'm like, no, it's not. It's good.
I think it's really cool. I think it's really
Remember, if I could wrap two
Nah,
fingers
no
around
beads,
it.
MSA. No beads. No
I
beads.
think-
That's what him say.
No beads.
That's what him say. No
Yeah,
beads.
that's what
he
Charles
really
said.
cut them off. He was like, no. But yeah. Anyways, sorry, that was just a little like
Speaking
added.
of cultural things, what are some cultural health, wellness, fitness things that you guys have in your culture?
Black
like even
people.
remedies, anything like that? Yeah.
Black
Name me
people.
some. Name me some.
Bruh.
I'm curious.
Vicks fixes everything.
Vicks
Vicks.
vapor
That's a
rub.
Spanish thing too. That's a Spanish thing
Alright.
too.
Vicks.
Huge
Yeah,
Spanish
like
thing.
when you say
Eucalyptus oil.
everything, what do you mean by
Eucalyptus oil.
everything?
Anything. You have a broken arm, Vicks that.
Everything. Put it on everything.
Yeah. Vicks, Advil, eucalyptus oil. You have three, and if you have aloes, you have that's you see those four? You're surviving.
Very, very
Yeah.
similar in the Spanish culture.
Advil. Yeah, man. Imodium, because you know black people have the lactose, so you need Imodium. Help with the belly.
Shanika was telling us that their family does bush tea for everything. Have you guys
Yeah,
had
they
any of that?
my parent, yeah, ginger tea and turmeric tea and all kind of tea,
Yeah.
berry teas.
Shanika had a whole bunch. I asked her before we got on because she's sick today, so she couldn't join us. But I asked her, I said, what are some of the remedies? Let me read you some of the ones she mentioned because some of them I've
Bush
heard and
tea?
I've never, bush tea, yeah. So castor oil for
Yeah,
skin and
man.
hair.
Yeah,
I
we
mean, I
should
think it's
drinking
pretty
that.
Oh, no, my mom used to tell me that they used to make her drink it. Thank God I never had to do that. That's disgusting. It's so terrible tasting. Tastes horrible.
Put that in tea, yo.
Oh my gosh, that's cruel.
Yo.
Cruel punishment. She said she put candle wax at the back of her ear if she had an ear infection. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's I think my family also did like a rolled up newspaper, and then you'd put it there, and then you like light it, and then earwax
Oh,
kind
I've
of
heard of
comes
that.
out. Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Or to
Really?
clear up if you know sometimes when your ear feels like clogged, that's kind of I guess
Yeah.
the start of an ear infection. We used to do that as well. Or like
Or,
at the back.
or even I've heard drops of peroxide in your ears. Like if you have an ear infection.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a
Never
lot.
done.
You know, don't be dumping the bottle, but like little drop, to give it a
I
little
have never
swish
done
up.
any of those things, and I'm terrified to even try any of it.
Maureen,
But
you're half, right?
I'm full Egyptian.
Oh,
I'm
full
Egyptian.
Egyptian.
Both
There.
my parents are Egyptian.
Yeah, they dabble. I get it. Yeah, they dabble. It's like, I don't
No, but
know.
they have stuff too. Like they have their own like weird. But okay, I'm a unique scenario because my dad left when I was a kid, and my mom wasn't really around, and she wasn't really part of the community. So she kind of like so we're Egyptian, but we're not very like Egyptian. Like we're pretty
Culturally
Canadian.
Egyptian. Yeah, culture. You're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Canadian by culture. Okay.
Yeah, Tiana, you put something in the chat about Egyptians, and I was like, I've never done this before. You said Egyptians put salt water in their ear when they have a heat stroke.
Yeah, they literally like I think they found, like a piece of paper towel and they drop it in the like in your ear. Yeah, and it clears it up. I don't know.
Heat
They've got
stroke.
a lot of remedies. They've got a lot of different.
They do. I just don't use them. Oh,
You
sorry,
know
you're-
what? They're from the desert. I'm not putting none past them. That's heat stroke we're talking about. They probably do it down the regular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Some
exactly.
salt
Yeah,
water in the
that's
ear.
true.
I'm gonna take that.
The
Yeah.
one thing I remember is my mom. She always used to say like if the kids had gas, like as when they're babies, or if you have stomach issues, fennel tea or anise tea, which is like like the black. It's like black liquor. It tastes like black licorice. But both of those are
Anise
really
tea,
good for
I
stomach.
remember vividly hearing that growing up for sure.
Yeah.
Orange peel. Orange peel does cut gas. Boil
Really?
orange peel. Yeah.
See? The amount of
Orange
natural
peel.
things.
Garlic tea does reduce pressure.
Didn't Shanika say something about garlic? Oh no,
She
garlic.
did garlic ginger tea.
Yeah, garlic
Like,
ginger tea.
I love garlic, but not as a tea. I would like
No,
eat it as something. Like I
no,
love garlic.
it does something because I know we do that here too. Garlic is for
Mhm.
pressure. Orange peel is for gas.
And salt bath. She said salt bath
Yeah,
for everything.
man. Epsom salt.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
man. Go take
apparently,
a
like
soak.
salt water, like is like healing. It does like if you go to like the ocean, like go in the water or whatever, like and
And
apparently,
sap your
Don't
head.
put your face. Just no,
Take
don't
the
put your
water
face
and
in. Is what I was
sap
just about
like
to
no,
say.
you
Don't
cleanse
put your
yourself and
face
it's like
in it.
healing.
in the beach. What in the
Don't
beach?
put your face in it. You're gonna have all your eyes are gonna be burning.
That's light. You need a little cleanse in your eyeball.
That's like
Clean up all the bacteria and thing.
no. Apparently, it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but I
sap
wouldn't
your
put
head
my
with the
face
salt
in it.
water. That's what we do back home. I don't know what it does, but I'd see my people doing it, so I was doing it too. You sap your head like it's weird. I don't know. Like you want it to go
What do they put the
inside.
water on? You put the water on top
Yeah,
of the
like
head?
you're literally scooping ocean water in your pad in your head.
Oh, see,
Yeah, does something. I don't know. Make you smart.
Sorry, that was loud. When when I had my kids, my grandmother told me that after you give birth, there's a few things that women are supposed to do after they give birth. One is bind their stomach, and I did do that. You have to bind right over your stomach, and it actually feels really good because this might be a little TMI, but after your kids come out, it's like you have a giant hole in your stomach and all your organs are just hanging there. So
Oh
to
man.
like have everything hold it together feels really good.
Okay.
Sorry, Allie.
Now I'm gonna take that for my future wife. Yeah, yeah. Put her in one of them
No,
waistbands.
yeah, it feels good.
Swaddle.
Actually feels good. And then the other thing is, she was telling me that
Someone's
I'm
bedtime.
I did not do this, but she said you're supposed to have a full chicken every single day, or like chicken soup or something,
Like a whole chicken?
like a
But
whole
it's
chicken
so
every
your
day.
breast milk, I think, comes in like, and you get your like strength back. Like you're supposed to eat a lot, essentially.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but she's very specific about a whole chicken. I don't know why,
I think
but
it's
we
weird.
did not do that.
The first 4 months, yeah, man. You have to eat. Put on a little 4, 5, 10 pounds. Yeah, man.
Mm-mm.
And then you can
Last
lose that
thing the
after.
woman is trying to do is like, gain more weight after the child. She's trying to lose it after the child.
Oh,
Yo, make sure my kid eats. That's all we care about, yo. Make sure there's enough food for him to eat, yo.
Yeah.
Yo.
I remember when I was younger, like one thing that we used to do a lot was like steam water. So we like boil hot water and we put it in like a pot or something and then put a towel over our heads and put our face right next to steam and like inhale it. You could do the same thing in a shower and it just clears up your sinuses.
Your
if you have a cold.
sinuses.
Add some Vicks to that, you're gonna see it takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man, some
like, you
peppermint.
need to be very careful because it's hot water. It will burn you.
Yeah, put some peppermint in that, yeah.
What about frankincense? Anybody use frankincense?
When we're talking about Jesus, yeah. I don't just use frankincense on the ones like that.
I used it when my kids were little. I used to use like diffusers in their room, which by the way I wouldn't recommend to do now.
Why?
I heard it's actually
Why is
it's
that?
not good for them to
Oh.
do that, I heard. But I didn't know it better at the time. So I used to use like diffusers and I put like a drop of frankincense, which was very like calming, and lavender and all that. It smells really good, but yeah, don't do it. But there's a whole bunch of benefits to all of these like essential oils. Are you guys using essential oils? Do you use essential oils? No? I do.
I do sometimes, mostly like the ones that you kind of use when you have a headache. I feel like it does help.
Which ones do you use for
It's
headache?
like it's called from Sage. It's called Peppermint Halo, I think.
Yeah, I have one of these.
I have the whole.
Is that the one you roll it around? You roll it on?
I have like the whole thing.
This girl put us on lip gloss.
No, it was not lip gloss. You put it like
No,
like,
I don't. I know. You just applied it like it was.
No, I didn't put it on. No, this was actually like aroma. This is like the fairy one, so it's actually to help you go to sleep. So I didn't put that on. I have a
fairy
crystal one.
Just now.
Yeah, it's called aroma fairy. So it's like it helps you like
Fairy.
calm you down. Yeah. Okay, so I have another question that I want to ask you guys before we kind of sign off. Do you care if your significant other is physically fit? Like, does that matter to you?
Yes.
Like, okay, you do it real quick. Like, what are you like in terms of like their body type? It's like, are you looking for someone who hits the gym, who like, not that, maybe like their average weight or whatever, but is that something you're looking for? It's like a gym buddy? Like what is it? Does that matter?
A gym buddy.
I think honestly for me, because it's not like I have like the peak physical form that other people want or that even I want, like, right? So for me, the physical form does not matter, but I do want someone who is physically active, and whether that be in like sports or going to the gym, just because it's a huge part of my life and it would feel odd. Like I feel like I don't have much in common because everyone exercises now, everyone has their own form of doing it. And if you were the type to not exercise, period, and you didn't really care for it, then it's like we don't really have many things in common, and like, it just seems a little off. It's
She's already
everybody
exing you.
exercise. Yeah,
That's
everybody,
crazy.
because then it's hard, right? Because then they'll ask me, they're like, oh, like you work out a lot or you do this a lot. I'm like, well, yeah, like it's for me. And again, they don't have to go to the gym. They don't have to do like martial arts like I do, but like, maybe they play soccer or they play volleyball or something that like, it's also just like a personality thing. Like you enjoy, exercise and just being active, and it's things you could do together. But if they don't want to, then I'm like, all right, well then you're going to have to wait because I'm going to go to the gym and then I guess I'll come back. But it's still like, if they don't understand why I'm doing it, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's gonna affect like your Like the things that you connect on, your personality,
Yeah.
your values, all that stuff, right? Yeah.
And I don't care like if they're not physically fit or anything like that, like but they're active. Like that's just a good thing. If they like physically active.
Yeah, I think that'd be important. Back then, like when I was in your age, I don't think that I was thinking about that kind of stuff, but I can imagine that would be really important. Like now I would think about that, you know, someone who takes care of themselves, because that's what you know, and you could just.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like I think it speaks to how you view yourself. So like number one, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not gonna care about me. Like what? You don't care about yourself enough to like do stuff for yourself. That's one. Two, a big part of, to me anyways, I view relationships for obviously marriage and then children. If we gotta run from zombies, we gotta do some craziness. You never know. You have to be able physically to do some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you like? Because some girls nowadays, like, or some girls in general, they're just like some guys right now in this today's age, society, whatever you want to say. They're just weak, right? And if something was to happen, like, I can say guys on average in general, my age, can't do more than 10 push-ups. That is a big problem. Yeah. That is a big problem. And they can't do more than like 5 pull-ups. So now what if you're hanging off a cliff? You know, and you need to help somebody like.
Well, you're thinking worst case scenario.
Like, I know, really worst. First of all, where are the cliffs around here?
Listen, all right.
Maybe a building. Yeah,
listen,
building.
All right, maybe. You never know when you're gonna need to depend on your physical fitness. To me, it could be in a combat situation, martial arts. It can be. I've seen like one time, me and my friends were hanging out, and one of my teachers, someone T-boned him. His car rolled, and he was stuck in his car. And we had to run to his car. We ran there to see if he was okay and like try and help him. If I was not physically fit and able, I wasn't running over there. You know what I mean? And who knows the situation, he could have died. You never know. So you want to be physically able at all times. Anyway, for me, to kind of adapt. I don't expect my girl or significant other to be like Kim K. But like Ali said, some form of that anyway. Nah, but like I don't expect her to be
or like what?
No, when I say fit, I don't even mean looks wise. Like she can be average, but if she can run a mile, you know, like in a decent like do the things that you should be able to do, like the average human being should be able to do, walk up the stairs and not be tired, carry 2 grocery bags and not struggle. Like you have to have some form of physical fitness. Because then, you know, like I said before, you don't care about yourself. You don't care about your health. We have kids. You end up getting sick, whatever the case is, or like, just a lot attached to that. And I guess before it wasn't important. Now we know more. So it is.
I just want to say, like, sometimes, like, having stamina, like, there are people that don't exercise every day, but their stamina is, like, out of this world. So you can be, like, running with this person that does not exercise, but they can run longer than you just because they have more endurance. That's it.
I know. I remember when I don't remember what year this was. I don't remember if you were with us, Tiana, but I like to do the Mud Girl run every year. Okay. When I can.
I was with you.
Fun.
The first year.
No, you weren't with me every year, but there was one year we went with someone. I don't want to name them, but it was one of the women that we both know. And this is not someone that would work out regularly, but this girl had some stamina, like running up the hills, stamina. And I don't know where that came from. But like those kind of things motivate you too when you're working. That's why I like working out with other people, because I watch those people that are like pushing so hard. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta push harder. Like whatever, I want to match whoever is doing the most.
Yeah, they push you. So, yeah, I remember I did it with you, like with you, like 1 year. I think you did it with.
I've done it with so many people because I've done it like 3 different years. But I will do it this coming year. It's super fun. It's just really fun.
You doing this year? Like this coming year?
This summer, yeah.
Yeah,
it's really
you
fun.
both better do it.
Have you ever done it, Ali? Yeah.
I did
Not
it's called
me.
a concrete run or something, and it wasn't
Oh.
Nathan Phillips Square. That's the only one. It was kind of hard on the joints though because you're running, but they did because you're running on concrete basically. But yeah, it was. I think the first one I ever did, and it was nuts. Like my body was because I didn't like. I wasn't much of a runner at the time, and I'm like lifting things and I'm climbing over stuff, but it was so much fun. Like I got my cardio in for like 2 weeks at that point. But it was, yeah, it
That
was a
sounds
good time. I've
intense.
always wanted to do a mud run before. I haven't had the chance.
Yeah, if I
Looks
do
like
it
there's
this
some
summer,
cool.
I'm gonna hit you up if I do it this summer because it's really fun. One time I went, I think the first year I ever went, I was supposed to go with other people, but no one showed up. So I went by myself. This is how I am. I went by myself and I just joined some other people that I don't even know. Can I join your group? They're like, sure. I'm like, okay. But it's really fun. But the mud go run, the good thing about it, Ali, is that there's no pressure to run. Like we walked half of it.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
every station you get to is it's really gross, but really fun. Like
Oh,
fun
why
to like
not?
I don't
climb.
remember it being that muddy either, though. I don't remember it being that
No,
muddy.
you don't remember. It's hella muddy.
Is it that
Like
bad?
you're crawling. Oh my God, you're crawling through like mud puddles that are like you get your face in your mud, everything in the mud. Like it's
And is this
mud.
naturally occurring mud, or do they like mix it
No,
up
they
with
make
the...
it. They
No,
make the
Oh, they
mud.
they
definitely
make
make it like
they
just
like
wet
Well, I don't
dig
know
dirt.
if
in
you
and
just
then
take them to a
drain.
random
Or
park, you know, and have them
Durham.
running through random dog doo-doo mud. Like, that's crazy.
It's not dog doo doo mud, but it is mud. I don't know. Hopefully, there's no dog doo doo in it. I
I
really
want to do
hope
the
not.
foam run. Like there's like a foam run or something like that.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, I
Foam
want to do
run.
that too.
This is
Yeah,
not
the foam
Dominican.
run.
This is
Right?
not
The foam
Dominican Rio all inclusive, yo.
a foam
It's just
party.
a foam run.
foam parties. I wanted to do that. That sounds like fun. Yeah, all of those things sound like fun.
Exercising is fun.
Yeah, remember we were talking about this because
Did you
I
feel
have a
good?
birthday coming up, remember? And we're saying like I want to go to Activate Games. I've been wanting to go to that for ages. And I
I
never
You
am
can break a sweat there easy. It's so fun.
Oh,
I've
you
been
can?
you've
multiple
been,
times.
right?
Yeah. I'm always like I go in like active wear because at this point, the
I
first time I
really want
went,
to go.
I didn't know that, and me and all my friends went. We were like, oh, we like drank beforehand. It was the worst idea to do. And we were all wearing like regular like cargo pants, tops, like everything. I was sweating, like completely sweating. So now I know like activewear, and I'm sweating when I go.
Wow.
Good to know. Thank you for saying that, Ali, because I really want to go because it looks like fun, but I don't really know what it entails. So, yeah.
It's just like
Yes,
like games, like basically like games. Like you're getting points. It's like some virtual stuff, but it's fun.
You work as a team or?
Yeah. I think it's max team of 5. Yeah, max
Yeah,
team
you
of
can only
5.
invite 3
from
other
what I know,
people.
basically. Yeah, otherwise you have to separate, or you can just kind of swap the people because you all have to like you have wristbands and stuff,
Well,
and
to be honest, I
yeah.
don't know 3 other people who would want to go. Tiana, everyone I know doesn't like to do physical things. So it's going to be me and you, and probably that's it.
Your sister.
My sister might, yeah,
And my
but she's not
sister-in-law.
very physical either. So
And my
if she
sister-in-law,
finds
what's
out
that?
that it's like very physically active, she may not want to go. So we'll see. And yeah, Shonika, we'll try and get Shonika to come. We'll see.
Yeah.
Cairo.
And was I think we should wrap it up. We did a lot of, you know, it was so wild. We were supposed to talk about mental health, but we do not have time for that today. But hopefully, like in a couple of weeks, we can get together and start talking about that. But yeah, there was a lot of good stuff because you guys are so like well versed in like fitness. Like I didn't expect this. Like it's definitely like a learning opportunity for me. So I appreciate you guys.
Thank
You be in the gym.
I know.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, I think I learned a lot from you guys.
You see the shirt she's wearing?
No, I see it. I see it. But I live in Durham. I'm not in York region. I live in Durham.
Wait, I have to show you the back. I didn't show you the back yet.
Oh, I thought she was about to do a round. I'm like, girl, stop. Mud, congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, without our vote.
You guys voted for it? You guys voted for it?
Yeah.
Pardon?
You guys vote? Is that how it works?
Yeah, we usually just kind of.
Y'all think y'all
Well,
just
why did it take you
that?
guys so long to vote for me? Why did it take so long?
That it's a good
It's
question.
about a
That's why
it's a personality thing too, Maureen. Like
I'm
it's
just joking. I'm just kidding. What? If it's a personality thing, I should have put it on day
I'm joking.
definitely was long overdue, Maureen, but you got it. That's all that matters.
I'm just
Before we
kidding. I'm just
close. Lucky.
Yeah, I literally got it like I think like a month before we closed, right?
That's
I don't
crazy.
remember what
You
month it
just
was.
made
Like
it. You're
June or
probably the
July.
last one.
You just
Yeah,
made it.
I got it
You
like
were like, you know what?
one of the
Let me
last,
see
one of the last.
iteration.
No, the
Wear
worst
some
was
extra
there
shirts, you know?
was a girl in our gym who won one of the challenges, and the winning prize was that she won a year's subscription
Who
to
did her
the Ella
dirty? That's
Kickboxing.
wrong.
She won a
We
year's
cleared it up. We
subscription.
fixed it.
Oh,
We
okay,
fixed
good.
it up?
'cause,
What, you got a
like,
different
she,
pie?
she won a year's subscription
yeah,
and
we
it shut down.
one of the things that like we were, I guess, when we were trying to sell everything, we gave her like
Oh, cool.
in terms of the same like value of what she was supposed to have.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's
The
nice
same
of you,
value?
of,
Straight
of
up.
Amy.
Most part.
That's nice of her. It's nice
She
of
took
you.
the iPad.
The iPad.
Oh, she took the iPad. Oh God, that's a
Yeah.
lot more than the
That is
value of
great.
the 1 year.
It wasn't.
No,
It wasn't
no,
a brand new iPad. It was like
dope.
an
no.
older.
Hella
No.
Yeah,
used.
but
Oh, okay.
yeah,
No, but
hella
that's a good
used.
trade. That's a good trade.
Yeah.
That
You
is
got
a
the
good
skill,
trade.
yo. You
Yeah.
took the skill.
Okay. Anyways, it was nice talking to you guys.
I'm about to hit Amy for that,
Thank
yo.
you.
All right, guys.
I
I'm
bet
into
you the scale is
kickboxing.
gone. Just I know.
Don't say that.
Anyway, all right, cool. Thank you guys so much for coming and talking to us again. I love having you guys on. It's so easy to converse with you. And thank you guys so much for coming and for taking
Thank
the
you for
time out
having
of your
us.
evening.
Thank you.
I hope you
Thank
guys have
for
a great
having us.
week
You as well.
and
You too.
keep in touch with us. And hopefully we'll have you on in the future for other
For sure.
episodes.
Absolutely. A
For
couple
sure,
weeks, we'll
for
hit you
sure.
up.
For sure. For sure.
All right.
You
Let us
guys enjoy your
know.
week.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good
night.
night. Bye.